This land is your land, this land is my land, from California to New York Islands. In this song, it brings people together. In the song, it talks about the land being ours. However, it really isn't ours. We just get to borrow the land for a little while. This is what I want to talk to you today about: soil sampling. For decades, my family has just dumped fertilizer on the field before we planted our corn. Recently, we have realized the negative effects it has had on our land and environment. According to James Hoorman, an extension educator, there is an interest in how improving soil quality can increase water holding capacity and increase nutrient. One way we can improve the quality and sustain our land is through the use of soil sampling. In this speech, I will tell you what soil sampling is, the process of how to do it, the 3 types of soil sampling, and what to do with the results, and the pros and cons of using soil sampling on the farm. First off, I'm going to talk to you today about soil sampling. I'll just start off with a simple definition. First, the farmer gathers some samples from his field. According to Jason Ott, who works for AgriLife Extension, collecting a good soil sample is the most critical step in soil sampling. Second, the farmer sends the soil to the lab to get tested. The farmer gets the results to tell him the nutrients in the soil. The farmer uses the results to make the decisions. Then the farmer applies fertilizer where it's needed and the correct amount. Now some things to consider when taking a soil sample. You might want to consider the area to sample. Each sample should represent no more than 40 irrigated acres. Less than 40 is better. You might want to consider the time of sampling. Take some samples the same time each year. Right after harvest or right before planting is better. A sampling tool you can use is a stainless steel probe. Never use a probe of brass. It will alter your results. The amount of sample you should use for soil sampling is a minimum depth of 24 inches. Soil samples should be dried before bagged. There are 3 types of soil samples. Composite, better known as random. As the name implies, the samples are randomly taken from a field. Random is used when you have one soil type and is the least expensive. Grid is used when there is lots of variation in soil types. Grids are created by GPS and they're most expensive. Zone is used where large chunks of soil types and they're less expensive than grid. Kyle Meeman, who owns a soil sampling company, strongly advises soil sampling by grid or zoning method because it includes several informational layers. You're probably wondering what farmers do with the results. The results will show the amount of nutrients per grid. It will show you the nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and pH level. Then it will tell the farmer the exact amount of fertilizer per grid. Each grid has the perfect amount of nutrients and no fertilizer will go to waste. Brian Watkins is a big farmer in Ohio, and he says using the new technology of soil sampling is just the first step because the farmer also has to learn how to manage the data. There are many pros and cons of using soil sampling. The pros is it's more accurate than just dumping fertilizer all over the field. It tells you how much nutrients you need per grid. This also has the potential to save money and increase yields. There are many cons too. It costs more money and it takes more of your time. This is not ideal for all location and it takes a special equipment. The Iowa Soybean Association on farm networks all agree that collecting and interpreting soil samples can be challenging, but the practice remains a valuable tool to guide farmers when making decisions about applying nitrogen. As you can see, my family has sustained our farm by using soil sampling. Instead of pouring fertilizer on the field, we've moved to a more efficient way of fertilizing. By using soil sampling for many generations, we will continue to watch our land thrive.